Have you been told hormonal birth control is the way to solve your hormone problems? In this video, I'm going to tell you the exact way that birth control is working and why it's not the answer to solve your hormonal problems. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to be notified anytime I post new content relating to women's health, hormones, and holistic health. There are millions of women out there who have been told that hormonal birth control is the only way to solve their irregular periods, acne, hot flashes, mood issues, heavy periods, PMS, fibroid cysts, PCOS, and so much more. I'm here to set the record straight for you in this video of exactly what birth control is doing to your body and that there are some natural alternatives to get your body to heal itself and help your hormonal symptoms. Okay guys, 1 in 3 women take hormonal birth control or the birth control pill to help hormonal symptoms. These women are not necessarily taking it to prevent pregnancy, which is a bit of a different conversation in my opinion, but they've been told that this will help heal their hormonal woes. Hormonal birth control can certainly suppress symptoms, there's no denying that, but it also switches off all of your own hormones, which is a detrimental thing for women's health and women's bodies. The bleed that you have when you stop taking hormonal birth control each month, if you do that, or at the end, is not necessarily a period, because for you to have a period as women, we have to have an ovulation. So the bleed that you're getting is not necessarily a period, you are not having a cycle, it is just a withdrawal from medication. So moral of the story, pill hormones, the ones that you're getting from either birth control pills or all the various different types of methods for birth control are not real hormones. The progestin, the estrogen, all of those things that you're taking are not going to mimic our own hormones. They are different chemically than our own and they can cause different things. So basically what birth control is doing is it is suppressing the connection from our brain to our ovaries and just shutting off all of our own endocrine system for our sex hormones. So one reason that we don't want to do this is that our ovarian hormones, estrogen and progesterone, have many different functions in the body than just reproduction. They help with bones and hair and metabolism in your heart and your brain. They help with many, many other functions than just reproduction. And so we want those good, our own hormones to be able to do all of those other functions as well. So pill hormones are pseudo hormones because they don't induce ovulation. In order for us to have progesterone, we have to ovulate. Ovulation is what produces progesterone, and progesterone helps our stress response, it helps keep us less anxious, helps our sleep, it helps our metabolism, it helps our thyroid, it helps us have normal periods, it obviously helps with pregnancy and reproduction, helps with so many different functions. And so in my opinion, we want as many years of our true progesterone as possible in which the pill just shuts off. So I want to know in the comments, have you been told that the only way to manage your own hormonal symptoms is the birth control pill? I know, like I said, 1 in 3 women have been told that before, and I work with patients all the time that have had that conversation with a medical provider, and so I want to know in the comments what your experience has been in this regard. So I want to preface this whole conversation with saying I would never tell a woman that no woman should ever take birth control. I think that, for pregnancy prevention and different things, there has been studies around it that it can be beneficial in some cases, and especially for pregnancy prevention. But I really want to educate you all on what it's doing, what the risks are of it, and also we can look back at a lot of the other videos that I've done and see that there's other options for things like PMS and PCOS and fibroids and cysts and mood disorders and all the different things that we're taking birth control for. Okay, so one of the risks and side effects of the birth control pill can be cancer. It can slightly elevate your risk of getting breast cancer. A large study in 2017 did show that correlation. However, birth control has also been known to decrease our risk of things like colon cancer and ovarian cancer. So it depends on your family history, it depends on all of those things that we're talking about, but if you have a family history of breast cancer or just regularly, it does increase your risk of developing breast cancer. Number 2 is blood clots. So a lot of women on hormonal birth control due to excess estrogen get blood clots, which can be life-threatening and not ideal. In my family, we have a condition that's called factor V Leiden. A lot of people have it. Most people don't know they have it. We got lucky enough to figure it out after my dad had passed and my grandma had a history of strokes. And so we started to look down the blood clot disorder line, and we all figured out that we have this condition, which is actually not super uncommon. And so, birth control is off the table for me. Other things that cause blood clots are things like smoking, sitting sedentary for large amounts of time, but like I said, taking estrogen can also increase your risk of blood clots. Okay guys, the third side effect that I want to talk about is depression. There was a study in 2016 that found women and girls on hormonal birth control were significantly more at risk of being diagnosed with depression. So you really want to watch that, especially if you or your teenage daughters are on birth control. Watch out for that side effect. Number 4 is low libido. The birth control pill can switch off our testosterone receptors, which increases our sex drive and libido, as well as muscle growth, body composition, and just overall energy as well. Some birth control pills can cause hair loss due to its high androgen index. Androgens are things like testosterone and DHEA, so it just depends on the type of birth control you're taking, but some of them can cause hair loss as well. Some of the synthetic hormones out there have the ability to cause weight gain due to its interference in insulin. So insulin, remember, is a master hormone, meaning that it dictates everything up the chain from itself, and so super, super important as a foundational hormone to just balance out everything else in our body. But insulin is actually a fat storing hormone as well. So if we have too much insulin, we're being exposed to too much insulin, we have the potential to gain weight. Another side effect can be nutrient deficiency. So this is something that not a lot of people know about or really talk about, but birth control pills and those synthetic hormones really have the ability to significantly deplete things like vitamin B6, vitamin B12, zinc, selenium, iodine, iron. There's all kinds of different things that it can deplete. Obviously, some birth control pills have iron included in that, which we will do a whole episode sometime all about iron. There's a lot of misconceptions about iron and nutrients in general, but just know that the birth control pill can definitely deplete quite a few key nutrients for us and how we feel, how our other hormones act and are produced. And there are things that we can do. So one thing that I like to do for my patients who are on birth control is there's a product, and it's not medical advice, but it's called Vitanica OC Companion, or Oral Contraception Companion, and it helps replenish a lot of those nutrients. The other thing that I like to add, other than that, and not together because it would be too many nutrients, is beef liver. So I know it sounds weird and gross, but beef liver is a really, really high nutrient dense food and can be really, really helpful at replenishing things like vitamin A, vitamin E, zinc, selenium, copper, B vitamins, all those great nutrients that are life preserving that can be depleted by birth control pills. And lastly, it can alter our gut function. So those synthetic vitamins or synthetic hormones in there can actually alter our gut microbiome, which is responsible for really our whole entire body. And the gut microbiome is responsible for hormone production, thyroid, digestion, brain health, sleep, energy, mood. All of these different things happen in our gut, and these synthetic hormones can alter that gut function. So it's important to take some probiotics as well when you are taking hormonal birth control. All right, guys, so we have lots of videos already out there, and I'm going to continue working on this to create new videos for things like PCOS and PMS and cysts, fibroids, polyps, all the different hormonal conditions that we have, because there's natural ways to get our bodies back in balance to help all of these conditions. And I want you to remind yourself that these symptoms that you're experiencing, whether they are moderate, mild, or severe, can be just symptoms of a further imbalance in the body. So I never want you to feel like this is the only option for you. There are other things, there are reasons that your bodies are having these types of symptoms, and we absolutely can work to get your estrogen and your progesterone back in balance. We can work on your insulin and your cortisol and your fight or flight response if that's responsible for these. We can work on nutrients and minerals and deficiencies and imbalances. There's so many different ways that we can do this. So just remind yourself that if birth control is the only option you've been given, it may be time to look for a different provider or practitioner, someone like myself who will look at you a little bit more holistically and be able to offer some different treatment options that have a few less side effects. If you are not aware, I have a free guide called 6 Evidence-Based Habits to Healthy Hormones, and these 6 things can be just done in conjunction with each other or just as one. Just pick a couple in the guide to do to start kind of working on your healthy hormones. And it will also help a lot of these different conditions that we're talking about today. So you can download that at alliedamron.com/habits. And like I said, it's just a free download. You can have it right now, totally free. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit that button and the bell to be notified anytime I post new content relating to women's health, hormones, and holistic health. And lastly, if you have friends and family that could benefit from this information or education, I would love if you would forward this video to them, share it with them so that they can be educated on what options there are, that there are other options, and exactly what birth control is doing to their body.